Hey, I'm going to show you an alternative way to perform the healer glitch. It still requires 2 frame-perfect inputs, but it's got a nicer visual indicator. If we use some stab buffers, we can actually control Link's movement to where you can use his body, his movement, as a visual indicator instead of relying on the healer who's moving only half a pixel per frame. So let's see it in full speed first. And then we'll talk about it. It is going to go by pretty quick. So you just walk in like normal. You're going to do 3 stab buffers after you pass that black door. 1, 2, 3 stabs. And then once you hit the edge of the building, that's your first talk, and then your second talk, and you're in. So we're going to loop it here, and I'm going to break it down a little more detail as we go. So the healer doesn't spawn in until after about half a tile after that black door. You have plenty of room between that door and the healer to perform those 3 stabs. So go as far as you want. I, go just a tile and a half here, kind of stab right at the beginning of that window. It's important for these stab buffers that you reach full speed before you perform the next one. That way they are normalized number of frames that they take. So you stab here, you move at least about a tile and a half, but I just go to the next window. That's 2 tiles. You can see up in the top left, the speed is going up to -24. That's the maximum. Perform another stab. So you only need 3, so you can see you have enough room to really make them as far as you want. So once you do those 3, you're timed perfectly to where the front of Link's shield is going to line up exactly with the building. So here's the frame before we press the B button, and then the frame we press it is now. And so you can see the input viewer in the bottom right. We're pressing the B button right there. So one of the interesting things about these NPCs, you might think, oh, you gotta look at the person you want to talk to. That's not how they detect you at all. As long as you're within a certain range, then it's waiting for you to hit the B button, and when you do, it'll talk. So right now, it looks like I shouldn't be talking to the healer, but that's exactly what's going to happen. That's their first talk. So I turn around, and it's really nice. You know that you got it because the shield hit. Now that he's facing right with the talk, you can see, the back of his hat is lined up with the left side of the building. So this is just a really easy visual indicator that you got the exact right frame. If you were a frame early, you'd be a pixel back. If you were a frame late, you'd be a pixel forward. There's no way to get the correct pixel without getting the correct frame also. That's the nice thing here. So after you talk, this one's a little tougher, but I still think it's easier than watching the healer. You're just going to watch Link again. You're going to hold right as soon as you finish the talk. And you see the middle of the window has, that highlight on the right side, and then kind of another, so I'm looking at the bottom pane of the window where her elbow is right now. On its left side, you'll see that, the black gap. That's basically where you want to cover with Link's shield. So the white bar is in front. Now there's that black gap is right in front of Link's shield. This is the frame before you want to press the button. So press it here. So you can see you got it right if Link is covering up that black gap. And then the healer is going to turn around and talk to you. And we got the glitch. Now entering the door is a little trickier at this point because you can go wrong. The thing that the glitch does is it actually just sends her off to the left. When she goes off to the left far enough, when you enter that door, she's too far away to override the door, and that's when you can go in. So I set up this script to show, you see in the top left it says too close. This is where she is right here, she walked into this window. And so you can see, this is kind of the range, is if I'm touching kind of the area around that window, that means I'm in range of her influence, basically. So if you walk in the door, right here, which you could, you would just get healed. You wouldn't go. So that's why the healer glitch fails sometimes. You're just too close. So as long as you get leave a little gap between Link and the door frame there, you'll be fine. So, because you'll be on the left side, that is a risk. But, as long as you get the second talk and then walk, far enough before you start holding up, you'll get the into Glitch Town. Now, unfortunately, if you miss the glitch the first try, It's going to take you half a second to set up again by going through the door, and it is not going to line up quite as nicely as it did the first time. So you have a couple choices. Either you can just try the original way again, or I'll show you the timing for if you want to keep with the stab buffers. It is a little trickier, it's harder to see, not quite as clear cut as the edge of the building, but I'll show you what that would look like. You still are going to do 3 stab buffers here, and you can see, you know, it's just unfortunate that if you do 2 stab buffers or 4, you're way off. So, you know, any normalized timing, this is what you're going to get with that. So you can see, you know, you're going to be right in your way here, but that window, there's the white bar, the gray bar, and then the black inner in the pane there. As soon as your shield touches that black pixel, that's when you want to push the button. So it's against the white, and then it's against the black. So this is the frame before you press, right there. And that's the first talk. And then for this one, I think it's a little easier. You know, you can go either way and learn the timing yourself, but for this one I like to continue on to the left after the talk, and you'll see that what we have here, that final white line that the shield is just up against, that's what you're going to cover with your shield. So this is the frame before you press, that's the frame that you press, so that's a pretty nice lineup right there. But the first one where you're kind of being interfered by the healer and everything, that's a little tricky, so you might consider just going back to the original, or, you know, if you get it first try, then you don't have to worry about this. But there you got the glitch. And she's going to walk off. And the same deal where you want to make sure that you're not entering directly on the left. Let me know if you found that useful, and let me know if you want me to give you some alternatives. I might be able to get some timing a little different. I like the way that first one lines up perfectly with the edge of the building there. I like watching Link movement. I find that much easier to time. You know, all throughout the run, you're timing things based on Link's movement. So it's nice that that's an option here. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see.